Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Bet $5. Get 150 in bonus bets when you do, only when you use that promo code Leading Off at Bet365. It is me, Joey P. That, of course, is the Welsh. And it's you, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, hanging out in the chat. It's a Thursday, which means we're going to have some prospecting with the Welsh. Yesterday was waiver wire. In case you missed it, you can go back and look at it over on the YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe today. It's good for you. And Welsh, let's start with putting the crown on the king, because 12 strikeouts for Michael King against the A's. Ooh-wee, pretty good. Unfortunately, it gets the Phillies next time out, so I don't think it's going to be quite as easy, but a great performance for Michael King, and certainly one that's going to look better across the board. The ERA goes to 3.58, the whip to 1.22, the strikeouts up to 95 over 83 innings. It was a really big start for Michael King last night.
Let me tell you something. Here's a cheat code. Anybody versus the A's is going to stack strikeouts. He had 10 through 4. So you bettors out there, whoever the A's are going against, if they are a above average strikeout player, even just like little tiny baby slightly, bet it, because it's like a 28% K percentage right now. But also, the A's have their moments. Brent Rooker's been really good this year. Langoliers is like underlying stats are performing
signs of life lately,
but they're like a streamer's paradise of counting stats that you want to play against. Sometimes you're just not going to be able to avoid like that weird Brent Rooker day where he's going to have 2 homers, but A's are a cheat code for everybody and make things right. And it's actually really funny because you and I were talking about a Michael King fantasy trade that you were ready to make last night. And if you hadn't made it, that would have upped the amount a little bit, because I still think like I'm ellish on my Michael King takes because he's just inconsistent. Though you're seeing the flashes of the player that I wouldn't shut the hell up about in the preseason, he just doesn't do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I already made the trade anyway because I'm playing for next year. So it's everybody.
No, I like the trade. You just could maybe got a little more.
Yeah, I got Yuri Perez and I got long-term keeper situation there with escalators. And King was in the 30s and Yuri Perez is a buck and Nick Gonzalez is like 2. Like those are players that I can really, build around. But yeah, like look, yesterday, Michael King was one of the bets of the day, over on the strikeouts. Nailed that. I mean, you could have ladder bet this one. I didn't think about that because we're really 7.5. And I thought, okay, maybe 8 or 9 is the max there. I mean, 12, if you ladder bet it, you did a good job. Speaking of going up the ladder, he's at the top of the roof right now. Royce Lewis. Ooh-wee. 3 for 5, another homer. Pablo Lopez looked good too. So anything's possible yesterday in Major League Baseball. But I mean, Royce Lewis cannot be stopped right now. It's funny. Eric Cross, I don't know if you saw his tweet about this. He goes, Royce Lewis is the 2 true outcomes, home run or injury list. I thought that was very funny.
But Royce Lewis is he might kind of be the Jacob deGrom of hitters at this point, where it's like when he's out there, he's the greatest, but he's going to get hurt. It's becoming comical, like what he's doing, the level of home runs, the level of contact overall. It's weird to even look at any underlying stats because it's like such a small sample size. But just for perspective here for a second, 50% hard hit rate he has, a 15% K percentage, a 23% barrel rate, which I didn't look, but qualified that'd be probably one of the best in the league. Expected batting average is good. He's on fire. Rest of season, because you know me, blinders to injuries. He's a like borderline first round player right now. That's how you should consider him. Like Royce Lewis over Austin Riley right now for this year. And in Dynasty, I've made a really big aggressive move. The key to Royce Lewis being like a top 10 Dynasty guy is going to be about him staying on the field for like 11 games, 12 games, maybe 20 if we want to get kind of crazy and wild here. He's got to stay on the field, but he is as hot as can freaking be. It's the best player on that team. I'm here all for Royce Lewis. I have a history with Royce Lewis. He is the player did you know about this?
No.
What
is this history?
Well, he was in the AFL.
Mahjong club? Like, what did you guys do?
No, well, he was in the AFL, and I interviewed him a couple times. I asked him the worst question I've ever asked. Now, my worst interview of all time is Curtis Mead, where I was just a bumbling moron, and I didn't even post it. But
like
Royce,
Farley, right? So you like playing baseball?
Dude,
me too.
Awesome. I was Chris Farley interviewing Paul McCartney when I
love
interviewed
that
Curtis
line.
Mead. I was like, you remember when you were in the Beatles?
Beatles,
That was
yeah.
cool. I literally
That's
asked him a question like that. I'm not going to even say it. But Royce, I interviewed him before the AFL, and I kind of like was like, how about that really bad season you had? And he was like, what do you mean? Like he didn't.
What do you mean, bitch?
I asked this, and he kind of like pulled back, and I got out of it. And then later in the AFL, I actually apologized to him, and we had this funny conversation about it. I'm like, that was my bad. I really didn't set you up well in the interview because I was like, how about that garbage piece of crap season you had? You ever going to get that? Like,
remember when you sucked last year?
Yeah, you can hear it on Prospect One. It's still out there. Royce is the nicest guy, easiest guy to root for. That body has turned into this pro. He was a skinny dude who got drafted, who no one thought was going to be first overall. He is looking like an elite fantasy player, plays like an elite fantasy player. Just stay on the damn field, please.
Just stay on the damn field. Look,
and don't
I
have
hope
me interview him.
Hey, Steve Gardner, that was his MVP pick in the beginning of the year, remember?
I mean, it's not going to happen, but
it's not. But again, next year, it's really interesting because he is the guy there. He is one of those it's on my back kind of guys. And if he goes 35, 110, he's going to be in that conversation. Nick Lodolo should be in every conversation right now. The ERA is now under 3 Welsh. He is 7-2 right now. A 106 whip, 62 strikeouts in 58 innings with 15 walks. Yesterday against the Guardians, gave up just 2 runs and 7 hits in 6 innings. Is Nick Lodolo kind of finally emerging into the guy we've been waiting for? Like, I feel like this is the most quiet ascension we've had all year of anybody. Because all of a sudden I looked up and I was like, wow, Nick Lodolo's numbers are pretty damn good right now.
Well, I think the ascension is because, like, he's also always hurt. Like this, I wouldn't shut up about Lodolo last year. Again, that's an L on me. Year too soon, because Lodolo was wildly underperforming what expected numbers were telling us. Like this dude had the biggest ratio between what his batting average given up and what it should be, blah, blah, blah. And then he just hurt and then gone for the season. He's kind of done that again this year. So I think that's why he's quietly sat under the radar. But like to your point, good K numbers, ERA has been phenomenal. Expected side is really playing that. And he's just missing a lot of bats, not even in the strikeout sense, but no one is playing really good contact. Of all pitches that he throws double digits, so essentially 94% of the pitches he throws have a 212 or under batting average against. So it's not like they're destroying fastballs and they can't hit the other stuff. They can't hit anything against Nick Lodolo right now. 94% of pitches he throws, 212 or under batting average. Lodolo's got one of the nastiest, sweepy curveball.
And 2 years ago, he was like the guy. 2 years ago, we were fawning over ourselves to try to get Nick Lodolo.
Hunter Green, give me Nick Lodolo over Hunter Green.
We were both in that camp, I think.
Not so
this is a fun one from Angelo. There's a lot of rage in the chat this morning. I live close to Truist Ballpark. I might just buy a Braves ticket to yell at Austin Riley, hey, you effing bum, you're killing my fantasy team. Angelo, I want you to do this. And I want you to get it on video and submit it to the show. But you got to say effing. You can't say the other word. Otherwise,
no, you can't do that. I thought you were about to say that. I was like,
no, come on.
Did you say a lot of Braves or a lot of rage?
Rage.
Like rage, like
it's an angry Thursday.
Like birds on parade?
Like a little birds on parade.
Birds on parade. Somebody had a great line they sent me to. Everybody knocked that out.
I sent you one that people were DMing me the ones all day after that episode. And I just thought it was like the funniest idea. I love it.
We did some AI art, and it just AI cannot quite capture the essence of a Rage Against the Machine X Birds on Parade type of feel. I have some interesting art that we could show, but it didn't.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. It might be like the lasagna. Framber Valdez got rocked 5 runs, 4 innings yesterday in a loss to the Giants, but he was good to start before, so I guess we just shake it off. Corey Seager was back, 1 for 3 with a dinger and a walk, so that's a good sign there in that game against the Dodgers. And speaking of the Dodgers, well, Shohei Ohtani hit a home run. That's nothing new. And Walker Buehler gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 Ks in 5 innings. So Walker Buehler's ERA sitting at 4.64, a 1.48 whip. His strikeouts per 9 are down. This is a tough one because I think a couple years ago, Walker Buehler was one of those guys I think in a dynasty league you were very happy to have. Now, if you're looking ahead, even just in redraft, how confident are you that Walker Buehler in the second half of the season can look anything like the Walker Buehler of old?
I wouldn't discount the possibility that he's going to look like the pitcher of old, but I did not bet on it. Was a month ago or whatever. I've been pretty anti, like I'm not interested in Walker Buehler, like freeze free, and that's great and everything like that. But just not super interested in it. I think he's still trying to readjust. His stuff kind of looks like it always has. Fastball hasn't lost any ticks. Cutter is still going off. He's going more sinker, it looks like, than knuckle curve. Knuckle curve's gone down a little bit, and he's added this sinker. Sinkers traditionally can kind of kill strikeouts if you don't have a big punch pitch, which he doesn't have a big punch out pitch. Cutter, fastball are under 20% whiff rate. The knuckle curve, he's using less, and that was the big pitch. So he doesn't have a big strikeout offering, inducing some more ground balls, which is just kind of more contact. He's fine. Like, I'm not buying on him rest of year. I'm probably a sell if he rattles off a couple starts because of this rotation, and it just really just him readjusting to this year. I think we could use an offseason for him, but I'm a little hands off of Walker Buehler.
You know, every day in the chat, Pistol's in here, and every day he always writes, "Thank you, Joe and Chris," and says hello to everybody.
I have actually seen that too. He's the only one. His literal first thing is just he comes in and thanks us.
Thanks, Joe and Chris. You know, this is our job, Pistol.
Thanks,
so
Pistol.
like we're contractually obligated to be here. Now we're very happy to be here, but at the same time, you're welcome. Like it's nice to be appreciated. And just a simple thank you sometimes is really nice. See, look at us changing the culture of society here on our little tiny baseball show.
All the anger that can come sometimes flow out of this show.
Get ready.
Like now
we're just coming right now. Well, that being said, there you go. He's got Catholic school guilt. There you go. Pistol says it right there. Yep, I hear you. But get ready because the rage is coming. So yesterday I predicted this was going to happen, and it did. So I was looking at the Orioles Braves game, Welsh. And I was looking at the total, and I liked the over. You know, I had Maury Povich and Schwellenbach going. And unfortunately, of course, my greatest fear came true. And I said it on the show, and I said, look, it's going to be like one of these 2-1 kind of games, whatever. Povich shut him out for 6 innings.
Boy.
Schwellenbach, 6 innings all as well. Gave up 2 runs. I mean, what a disaster this was for me. For everybody else.
Oh yeah, for me, I actually they had there was a nice little extra thing where some books where you could cash if you got to 2-run lead, and I bet that on Baltimore, so I cashed that. But also, don't want to I told you so or anything like that. But Cade Povich looked mighty good. Everyone's like, Cade Povich after the first start. Are we talking about weak contact he made? How about results? Well, how about results on this start where Cade Povich shut that team down?
He did. That
sweeper looked great. That was the Cade Povich I had been trying to sell you guys on for 2 months leading into this, and he looked great. And I know Atlanta's really struggled offensively, but that wasn't the A's.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is something he's going to be able to continuously build off of. And for anyone that doesn't want to hear the underlying story of what could be, and you only care about your results, which I totally understand, there you go. Presented on a platter, a Cade Povich platter of shutout innings.
Yes, shutout innings from Schwellenbach. Yeah,
not Schwellenbach's got a couple.
And like I just love that NPR sketch from SNL so much. Like it's just I've seen it a million times. I mean, however many times it's like, what is that from the late 90s? I think that sketch
wasn't it. Who was it? It was Alec Baldwin
and Anna Gasteyer and
was it Kristen Wiig?
No, it was before Kristen Wiig. It was Molly Shannon, and it's just hilarious. And every Christmas it's on, and every Christmas I watch it, and I know the jokes. It still makes me laugh every time. Reen the Red says Joe's dome's looking especially crisp today. Yes, you could tell. See, once the sun comes out in New Jersey, I get very tan very quickly.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot less reflection that's going on. It actually, your lighting is really on cam. I'm trying to get my lighting a little bit more like yours. Your lighting to dome reflection ratio is on point. Yeah, it's very good.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, everybody looks better tan.
You want to know something though? Everybody?
You know, do you tan? Are you a tanner, Welsh?
Oh, I don't go tan. I live in Arizona though. I am so.
Well, I live in Jersey.
Like
I don't
here, look at this.
Everybody
look at
else
that.
does.
See that?
Yeah, you don't look like a guy that tan.
No, I don't go tan, but I will physically get, you know, like body.
This is why wherever I travel, I'm always wherever I go. It doesn't matter where I go. If I go to Italy, if I go to Mexico, if I go anywhere I travel, people automatically will speak whatever the language is to my face. France doesn't matter. They just assume because I am conveniently ethnic looking that I am from whatever area it is. Now you can laugh about that, but it is true, and it's been happening to me my entire life, and it's my favorite thing. And then I feel like such a disappointment because I'm letting the locals down.
I had that one time,
and it's very sad.
When I was in my 20s, I worked in a recording studio in LA, and I was like in the kitchen doing something, and there was this this British
Flea and Anthony Kiedis.
I did hang out with Slash. I've told you, Slash came up and talked to me for like 5 minutes, but there was this.
What was wrong with that crappy album you just did?
Yeah, well, they were doing the Money song for the Italian Job. They were doing it at the studio I was at. But this British producer comes up because he asked me a question. And sometimes how I speak, I must have said something like I was not American. And he got so excited. He was like, "Oh, what's that accent? Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, sorry. I'm just a stupid, bumbling idiot who doesn't sound correct." And then he got super disappointed in me and didn't talk to me ever again.
Slash, I know to just pretend I'm Michael Caine in front of him.
I wanted to point out on your bald head, we'll move on. But when you're friends with Joe on Facebook, it was great. For some reason, something popped up where you had old pictures, and I forget.
Oh yeah, my pictures of college,
Joe.
Yeah.
You know what? I know what it was. It was the school closing down thing.
It was my school closing. We posted all these old pictures of me.
Joe with a full head of hair.
Oh yeah, like Kid and Play. Yeah,
it is like Kid and Play. That's exactly.
My hair always grew out.
Flat top. Yeah, it's like a flat.
Let's see if we can get a picture of me with hair on the show.
It's immaculate. It really is immaculate.
Speaking of rookie lookies, Jackson Merrill, 2 solo home runs. Your boy Welsh, there you go, 5-4 walk-off yesterday against the A's. Jason Dominguez was activated from the IL, but he's not coming up. So, okay, sure. But he's not the only prospect to talk about because it's Thursday. You know what that means? It's time for another amazing edition of Prospecting with the Welsh. That's right. This one's a little creepy. Welsh fell into a cave full of baseballs, and he came out with some prospects, and Welsh is going to take us through right now some of the prospects you need to know in redraft, in dynasty. What's going on down on the farm?
Well, here's an update. Here's your prospect update. Like all of those baseballs that we were mining, I've got a little bit of some prospect mining news here. Just the guys that are top of mind that you guys are going to know about. James Wood, still on the IL. We cannot quite free him when he is locked down on the injured list, but he should be coming back like any day, as well as Colby Mayo. I said this last week. Both of those guys are very, very close. But if you're wondering, those are the 2 guys we care most about. They are still IL'd. Jackson Holiday, who we've been talking about, I've said I don't think you're going to see him in June. It would at least be July. I want to point out he started hitting again, but strikeouts are a big issue. And I think that's the thing that is ultimately going to hold him down. Kjerstad is destroying the baseball. If Mayo gets a couple games under his belt, he's going to move the line. And then Connor Norby sent back down, but he is hitting, and that's very good.
How do you rank Holiday, Kjerstad, and Mayo for fantasy purposes?
For
long term.
For dynasty?
Forever.
Give it to me again. Who are the 3?
Jackson Holiday, Kjerstad, and Colby Mayo.
It is Holiday, Mayo, Kjerstad. But Holiday has moved very close to Mayo.
Oh boy, I'm number 1 in Welsh's heart. I'm so excited.
Yeah, sorry. Well, he was number 1.
I actually wanted to know. It was not an excuse to use that board. I actually wanted to know.
I'm very high on Colby Mayo. Like I'm much. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm much higher than like the consensus, but I'm just very.
Colby Mayo or Junior Caminero.
Junior Caminero. Again, those are close. It's like a tier. Okay. Top 10. Those are all top 10 guys.
Right, now I'll shut up. Go ahead. Keep talking.
In kind of, we usually don't talk about guys that we just did Holiday, guys that have come up and sent back down. Jordan Lawler, who I got to see last week in his last rehab start out here in the Complex League, moved up to AAA. He's off of his rehab start. The reason it's important is in AAA, he's playing third base. Why is this more important? Torey Lovullo with the Diamondbacks yesterday said that Blaze Alexander is moving over to third and is going to get they didn't quite say all of the reps at third, but primary over Eugenio Suarez. More importantly, Eugenio Suarez is on the way out. Lawler hit a homer, a huge bomb in, I think, his second game back. Pay attention to this because Eugenio being out, they love Blaze, but he's bad defensively. This could be a situation where Lawler's able to take this over moving forward. So Jordan Lawler, definitely on the clock in the near future. I think post All-Star break, this might be Lawler's spot. So pay attention. And then finally in the news portion of this, some weird oddities for 2 AAA pitchers that everybody is paying attention to. We've been talking about Max Meyer, but also Shane Baz. And as much as we both want them back, just pay attention to these oddities. Shane Baz in AAA, 6 walks per 9 he's averaging right now, and an under 9K per 9. Pay attention to how excited you're really going to get. I also say the Rays have a couple other AAA pitchers that I think are really solid, Ian Seymour and Joe Rock. I don't know about Baz and Max. 6 earned runs, and he's got this bloated home run rate of over 2 homers per 9 right now. So, blah. Now, a couple prospects that you can pay attention to in the stash world in the near future. We actually talked about him the other day, Joe. Jace Jung with the Detroit Tigers. He's hitting 284, 11 homers. He's got the 20th best OPS in AAA, a 16 to 23 walk to strikeout ratio, which is really solid. He's a natural second baseman. They got Colt Keith there, but he's been playing a lot of third base. So I think if this team really does want to make that move, because he's starting not to really understand, it doesn't make sense why he's going to be at AAA much longer. Maybe Colt Keith goes over to first base. He can go to second, or at least that third base eligibility could get Jace Jung up soon. So that might be one of those guys. I know you were interested in him the other day. If he comes up, he would be a guy that I'm interested in most formats. And I think you would be too, right?
Well, he seems like the power's been there. So I think that's what's intriguing to me.
Yeah.
At this point.
Pitcher, David Festa. I know I've talked about him here on.
He was on one of these 2 weeks ago, I want to say.
Yeah, well, just want to bring him back up. Currently has the 4th best swinging strike rate at AAA of all pitchers, not just like Twins pitchers. And among starting pitchers, or at 16.4, by the way, that's a swinging strike rate. He's also got a 35% K percentage and a wild 13 plus K per 9. Walks have been a little bit of a thing, but the fastball slider changeup guy who throws that fastball in the mid 90s, I really do think of all these pitchers we could talk about, he's a guy you got to pick up if he is called up. And then I'm going to just give you one that's kind of a long shot here. Marcelo Meyer with the Boston Red Sox, who's in AA, if you remember that name. Currently, they've got David Hamilton at shortstop. Rafaela in the outfield. They've got no other options. Mayer's in AA, but he's been in AA all season long. He's hitting over 300 with 6 homers, 12 stolen bases, which is solid, 77% contact rate. Yep. And RotoWire's got an interesting hard hit strength data. Over 30 is like getting into the elite territory. He's got a 32.9. That's like hard hit numbers you're essentially looking at. I really do think this team, especially if they want to win any games, could make the jump. Mayer going over AAA, or go to AAA soon, small stop, and then go to the majors. We've got no other options. That would be someone I would be on the lookout for in the near future, as we are getting some of these guys, Adele Amador, Drew Thorpe. Mayer may be that one. That is how we are prospecting with the Welsh.
There you go, everybody. Check out more at fantasypros.com for more prospect talk with our boy, the Welsh. He is the master. He is the host of Prospect. What the hell is the show? Prospect One. That's the name of the show.
What an ad. Prospect One.
What was wrong with that? The season he had last year, Welsh? That's my big question. Prospecting with the Welsh, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I just completely brain farted there for a second. It's been a long week.
What is a dumbass show you do? It's a stupid name.
Show you do. By the way, Mike Goose says -200 Joe goes tanning. I've never come close to a tanning bed in my entire life. True story.
I would
number one, I never had to, because clearly, but also I'm a little afraid. Like I'm always like, it feels like this thing that's, I don't know, it's a little scary to me. And I want to apologize to the Red, because it's Renee the Red, but it's only one E at the end. I've never seen Renee spelled with one E. So apologies. So I want to get everything right here.
What did you call him?
Reen the Red, because it was RENE. I didn't think that was Renee. Renee typically has that little thing at the end of it. Does it with 2 E's, I thought?
Yeah, I mean, typically. But
typically. Well, I'm just saying. Well, typically.
Chris is spelled with a K sometimes, so I don't know what to tell you.
Mike has an interesting question. Does Central Jersey exist? Yes, it does. It very much exists. New Jersey is a weird place. Okay. So North Jersey, like very North New Jersey near Manhattan, is basically like a little tiny weird, cutout of Manhattan, right? You know, the Jersey cities and that. Then you got like upstate New Jersey, right? Like Sussex County, which is mountains and, some rich people and Paramus and skiing and things of that nature. Like this all kind of different culture up there. Then you move down to like where I grew up pretty much, which is central New Jersey, the Middlesex counties, the Somerset counties. That's your classic suburban New Jersey. You get good pizza. You get a lot of good family stuff. It's kind of like where you want to be. It's a good place to be. Then you got the shore, and the shore is its own thing. That's its own animal. And then you got a scary place way down south, New Jersey, which is basically Deliverance, Welsh, which is people playing the banjo without a lot of yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So New Jersey is a little microcosm of the world.
French fried potatoes.
Or at least the United States. So you get everything, and everything is 45 minutes away. 3 up and 3 down. Bryce Miller, 7 shutout innings. Sonny Gray, 7 innings as well, 9 Ks. Carlos Correra, what a day for him. 5 hits. How about that? 3 down. Slade Cecconi, 7 runs, 4 Ks in 3 innings. Reese Olson, you can drop him. It's fine. I saw some people asking in the chat. 4 runs, 10 hits yesterday. Ugh. Braxton Garrett, he was bad too. 6 runs, 4 earned. Over 4 2/3. Real quick through the injuries, and then we'll get to the bets of the day. Jurickson Profar underwent the MRI. Things seem to be good. No structural damage. That's a good thing. Yamamoto is going to have his start pushed back from Thursday to Saturday. So there you go. That's annoying depending on where you're at in terms of your lineups. Joey Ortiz will be able to return to action on Friday. He's been dealing with that hamstring issue, so they didn't put him on the IL. They've been waiting. Day-to-day is the worst, but Ortiz kind of an unsung hero, I feel like, for that Brewers roster, Ty France with the heel issue. He is making progress. He should be back at the end of that IL stint in the 10 days. Also, Brian Wu, the MRI came back clean, so that's good. So hopefully this is just like a tendonitis situation or some sort of inflammation situation. So good news there. Josh Jung is going to begin his rehab assignment on Thursday. Edwin Diaz is going to be right back in the closer role, or so we've been told. And Trey Turner, look at this, early next week could return. Welsh, how excited are you for that?
He lives. It's an Undertaker just boom coming back up. By the way, did you see that there's some Vice documentary of what killed the WCW? It littered my timeline. I'm going to watch it. I haven't. WCW I grew up on.
I watched last night. It's good. It's good. I enjoyed the long mini documentary episode that they did on the WWE Network years ago. That's on Peacock. It's like it's a Monday Night Wars, I think it's called. That's really good because that's like 8 parts or something. This is 4, but this is good. It's like the old people with no, like they don't have any filter anymore. It's like us, old people with no filter, really saying what they really think about everybody. And whenever you get Bret Hart talking about Bill Goldberg, it's my favorite thing. He never calls him Goldberg. He only calls him Bill Goldberg because he hates Bill Goldberg so much because he ended his career with a shot in the head. He said, whatever you do, don't kick me in the head. And then 10 seconds later, he kicked him in the head. So
yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to watch it. I'm excited.
No, it's good. It's fun. You'll like it. It's good. You know what else you like? It's time for the best bets
of the day, brother.
With Joey P and the Welsh. Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go place your bets over at Bet365. You're going to bet $5. You get 150 in bonus bets when you do, brother. You go use the promo code leading off. That's how you do it, my friends. But make sure you only do it if you're 18 or over in Kentucky. That's right. And of course, if you got a gambling problem, you're going to call the 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. The terms and conditions apply this Sunday at Backlash. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go through some of the bets of the day after some fun wrestling voice stuff. Joe Ryan over 7.5 strikeouts today against who? Who, Welsh? The A's.
The A's.
It's minus 120. I don't care. The Twins on the run line, minus 1.5 against Oakland 2 is also minus 120. Philly at Boston, under 8.5. That is the total runs. I'm going to go with that one too. You got Nola on the mound here today, minus 105. I know he's on the road, but still, I like that. And also for the parlay of the day, put Joe Ryan strikeout prop on there. You could do Twins on the money line. You could do Twins, on the run line, whatever you feel is sexier for you today, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to continue to just beat the crap out of the A's because it's easy. And we did it yesterday and we made money. And we did it the day before and we made money. We just keep doing it every day. So until it stops making money, we're just going to keep on doing it. Welsh, it's Thursday, which means there's less things on the board today. But what do you have for the people out there as you comb the desert for some bets?
It's fun. Coleman, that we ain't found. You found anything yet? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know where I was going. Someone I think confused today for me with Friday, saying this is my favorite day sarcastically. Now, Friday is where I fail. Not to say that I will be positive or negative.
I'm going to say, when have you succeeded?
I'm on a 3-day streak, I think, right now. I'm on a little bit of a streak over on
me. I was 1-2 yesterday. No bueno.
Sonny Gray strikeout. So listen. All right. Here are my bets. You actually mentioned this game. My favorite bet of the day is that Philly Boston under 8.5 runs, right around a little bit over like minus 105 between minus 110. 8.5 is a pretty big number. Love the pitching matchup on both sides. And that's what you're kind of betting on. You're betting on Houck and Nola just maintaining the runs. I wanted to go minus on the 4.5. The juice just didn't make sense. So the full game, that's the play. Justin Steele, my dear good friend, Justin Steele. I'm taking strikeouts today, over 5.5 against the Tampa Bay Rays, who struggle as far as the chase rate goes and strikeout rate versus lefties, especially over the last 30 days. So I think this is a great one. And Steele has hit this marker 3 of his last 5 starts. I believe it is. So Justin Steele strikeouts, regardless, I love. And this is a quick one only for the live people. I'm playing a nerfy today. Atlanta, Baltimore. Might be a little bit risky, but it's Reynaldo and Cole Irvin. Irvin has been great. Reynaldo is a beast. Offensively, the Braves have been but they're really bad on the road. Baltimore's the scary one, so I'm hoping Reynaldo holds that down. And it was minus 115, so no run first inning. Baltimore, Atlanta, game starts in like 3 minutes. I really like that one. Not sure if there'll be much more, but bettingpros.com/Welsh or bettingpros.com/Joe for any other bets that didn't make the show if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, you know what? I've decided go in on the parlay of the day. Forget the money line. Go to the run line minus 1.5. I'm confident in the Twinkies today, the way Royce Lewis is swinging the bat and the way Joe Ryan's pitched this year. So you get 2-to-1 odds on that. So those, ladies and gentlemen, are the best bets of the day for Thursday. Make sure you download the Betting Pros app. Start betting smarter, not harder. Check out the systems too. We got amazing things, and you can follow us as well at Joey P and the Welsh too at bettingpros.com/Welsh/Joe. There you have it, everybody. This is what happens when you're doing multiple shows and multiple sports in a day. My brain just becomes absolutely.
You're like, what's that stupid show that you've hosted?
That show idiot? You know what? I almost said Prospect 360. That's what happened to me. That almost came out, which is a different show, which is a friend of ours. We love Tim McLeod. He's a wonderful human, Canadian, the better Americans. Jerry has an important question. Joe, do you call it Taylor ham or pork roll? I call it pork roll because I grew up closer to the shore. Do you know what either of these things are?
Nope.
All right, I just want you to Google it after. Well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to eat them anyway. So
I mean, I don't know.
I know you, and I know you're not going to eat them. Renee also likes your Savannah Bananas hat. By the way.
I hat tip to Brian, I think, who did the guess in the chat. People are now, that's the new game, is guessing, do I have a hat and what hat? I need to get a couple more into the rotation. I have a lot.
15 and a half hats.
Oh, probably under. I mean, I have a rotation of like 7 to 9 that I like to wear. I want to get a couple more. I want to add a few more to the rotation on the shows.
All right, let's add the home run board to the show today and see what's going on there. I'm stuck at 18 still. Oh, man, I'm 18 at number 18. That's not where I want to be. So I am holding on for dear life. I'm like John McClane in Die Hard, barely on the ledge. I need a homer in the worst way. Marcelo Ozuna did not give it to me yesterday. That's bad. So I'm going to instead go with Royce Lewis. That's right. The hottest guy in baseball. Let's go. Let's ride the wave. Welsh, where are you going for your home run call today?
No joke. I was going to go with Royce Lewis today.
Come with me. Come on.
Nah, but you know what happens? People get mad at me. Everybody gets mad really? because I'm a cooler on homers. If I pick someone, they're like, oh, great. The stupid comments. Oh, I'm going to pick somebody else. All right. So I didn't go with Royce to cool that. You know, this is how they sound in the chat. They're like, oh, Welsh picked Vladimir Guerrero because you have to pick someone else. That's how they sound to it. That's how I hear it, at least. I'm going to go with Pete Alonso. No one's going to be mad if Pete Alonso doesn't hit a homer, but it's a pretty good matchup from a home run perspective. So give me Pete Alonso to get me on that board. Get me on that board. Oh, Welsh.
Wonky has more hats than you for sure. And Wonky's hat collection is stunning. I've seen like in our meetings, we see the big pictures up on the, like you can see in the back behind her, all the hats like lined up there. It's pretty impressive. It's something to shoot for. It's like those people who collect sneakers. She collects
my baseball. I mean, my baseball collection is like, it's wild. You can't see them all anymore.
Have you seen my baseball? All your Schwelly balls. You show everybody your Schwelly balls.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of. Everybody take a good look at Welsh's Schwelly balls, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back tomorrow to get another good look at them. Make sure you join us here at Fantasy Pros MLB. Drop your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell till that goes ding. And go sign up at Bet365. Use that promo code leading off. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Peace.
Schwelly balls.
Bye.